So before I start, I want to ask if anybody had any questions from last night. Maybe I could piggyback on. I don't know where to start. You never know. So anybody might have a question? Yes?
When he talks about how he went back to his desk and cleaned, what did he do?
All right. You can't see it. Well, he sits, or you can even do it like when I worked at Hawaii State Hospital, I was always doing it. So if I experienced somebody like about to throw a chair, or even before, in my mind, I love you. Thank you for giving me one more chance to let go of whatever stuff, I don't know, the place would come. The place that I was in was a forensic unit. So that unit held most of the people who either killed, raped. So it was a high security, hard barbed wire, television. When I first showed up there in 83 or 84, I don't know, all the seclusion rooms were used. All of them. There were how many of them? 18. We're going to give a lot of jobs, you know, us lawyers, boy, I tell you, that's why they were in there. Because of the legal system said that they were dangerous. People restriction in the, I mean, actual clips, and then, so nobody could, I mean, that's what, when I walked in, I went, my God, why did I take, really? I didn't know what I was getting into. And then basically, if it was one of the workers in the building, they had a funny gait. I mean, if you were wearing pants, their gait was always like sideways, so they would kind of be walking like that. And this side was closer to the wall, in case anybody would come and wrap you. I mean, hit you with the chair, hit you from nowhere. Maybe somebody goes by, he's okay, all of a sudden, boom, bang. That's why they had so many people in seclusion rooms. A year later, nobody in seclusion room. Nobody. Didn't say anything, didn't do it. But boy, doing a lot of cleaning and sometimes being pissed off. You know, you can't help it. And it just went on, and then finally, nobody could leave the building without a medical doctor's paper, yeah? Maybe a couple years later, 2 years passed, we had people out playing tennis, and then we had complaints. What are crazy people out there doing? I mean, this goes on, so you get to clean with that. The director had to be very cautious because he would be sued if you had anything. And by the time I left, they were out doing bus rides. A lot of people were coming. I mean, now they're coming in and out, as opposed to staying there 7, 8 years at $50,000 a year. I don't know what it is now. You see, if you folks were willing to do that, the schools would just, everything would just work. The system would work. My friend would enjoy his job instead of getting burned out. I have a friend in Oahu. He was telling me what happens to attorneys who are in the legal system for about 7 or 8 years. He said, you know, one of the things we find ourselves more and more at bars. Because they go bars, and it's stressful. You get burned out. It's because you engage. So what he's doing is disengaging. But I want to put the sign up that says, I don't know whether you know this term, it's easy to talk the walk, but walking the talk is a whole different game. So how many times have you taken this class?
16 or 17.
Okay. Slow learner. Coming back. So how many times have you taken? Guesstimate. Tell us.
Oh, I don't know. It's been years.
Yeah,
So
how many?
I'm really slow.
Make it up. Give us a number.
40.
How many?
30, 40.
Yeah, more like 100, huh? Cool. So a lot of these people have come back over and over because they never get it. You don't get it. You're not supposed to get it. You just do the cleaning. What about you? So.
15.
Yeah. So tell me why you come back as opposed you have to earn a living. You have a company to run. I mean, particularly on Saturday and Sunday, right? It's a time for you to do your thing, huh?
I take off a lot of weekends.
Burnout in this country is something like $80 billion lost. Workman's comp is a form of burnout. And you folks are contributing to it by not being 100% responsible. Our friend has a tough time where you have at least 15 or 20% of the kids ready to drop out of school because we're not 100% responsible. We think the school ought to do it. It can't do it. It's never going to do it. Not possible. I was principal for 3 or 4 years at the University of Iowa Medical School. We had a program for autistic children, that sort of stuff. Nice university, big, but they can't do it. One of the things they did doesn't work. They would take kids from home and bring them to the university, spend 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Doesn't work. What do you suppose it wouldn't work? Bring a kid autistic child from Ottumwa, Iowa, all the way to Iowa City, and then passing him through a system of experts, speech therapists, psychologists, OT people. Why do you think that doesn't work? Might not. Maybe you think it works, but why wouldn't it work? Well,
Child's not in his environment.
yes, that's number one. But more than likely, the people treat the children as though they are the problem. This handsome guy is going to help these people who feel like it's too warm in the room. Half of you feel like that. So the environment doesn't work, and you get this beautiful program that costs about maybe eight or 9,000. You send them home. Nobody follows the IE. What is an IE? Individual. What is it called? You guys have? IEP. Nobody follows that. That's why the school gets sued. And it can't. We're asking the school to do something it cannot do. It begins with you. That's why, if I can get you to be 100% responsible without being here, I would do it. But this is the old-fashioned way, and I would prefer, to be honest, not to do this, but I don't know any other way to do it, yeah? Now you got to put up with the noise, see, you got to get the cold now. Yes?
Are you saying that when we look at an individual and we see a problem, some anger or whatever, that it's really a mirror of ourselves?
No, you got to be more precise. It is a memory in you playing.
Okay. But we are seeing a memory of ourselves.
Yeah, you
Like,
no, you got to be careful now. Whatever it is, so I want to show you. So, do you hear what she's asking? Okay. Oh, good. I should have brought my coat. Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to draw two eyeballs. What would the mind see when it's empty?
nothing.
Nothing. And what is nothing? Love. Love is blind. So it looks at Johnny, and Johnny's one of the kids, and he has stuff come up him. Here's what he's seeing. That's a picture of my eye, see? See, my sister's smiling over here. What he's seeing with memory. Now he's not blind. He's got darkness come in. Now every time he looks at that kid, he will see it with memory. Look at that. He can't help it. And that memory is what will give him an experience of that kid which is false. False. Even with greedy people, it's false. Greed is a memory replaying. If you work on it like she is, you let it go, you don't get burned out. You're able to kind of, okay, this is the way it works. So now she says, light switch, I love you, or whatever, of greed, which is a memory playing. The memory is the cause, and the experience is greed. So now she says, oh, she erases the memory. She erases the memory, the greed's got to go. Now what happens is that here's the next thing, she's going to get paid off. This is her reward. Reward is she's going to be inspired. So now, instead of having the experience of that thing here as being a pain in the butt, I fall in love with her. And you know what love will do to people? They treat you better. They give you things like Lays, and I mean, when I go home, I mean, I have to bring a second suitcase. I just yeah, because people love you. And that's what life is all about, even for attorneys. It's love. To be free, that's what love is, freedom. So you just go out, you go, oh, I get to what? Oh, like that. Especially with her, she's working in an industry that's very dangerous. When you work with land, you don't know what the Hawaiians have done to this land. You cannot believe what they've done to some of this stuff. I mean, for example, Hawaiians were conservationists, so they would be special kahunas, and I'm not versed in that. So kahuna, one of the things that kahuna would do, he would in his mind, he would put down an energy field around an area. So that energy field is up, you could not fish in that area. You enter that thing, boom, you die from a heart attack. Now at the right time, because this energy field is watching either the fish in there are plentiful enough, the energy field drops. So now it's open, people can go in. Now they're in there, they're depleting it. So this energy field automatically goes up to protect Mother Earth. Now, do you know any system that does that now? No. We rape. So this boy who raped this girl, we're no different. We rape everything. So I'm here to show you how you come back to love, you get what you need, and so will everything else. Because if you don't do it, you're going to go down in hell. What is the scientific definition for hell? Anybody? Come on, give us a break. Chaos. So we want to get rid of chaos in our lives. And chaos is this stuff. I can hear my sister say, take a break, take a break. We're just starting. See how powerful she is? She's putting on this, yeah.
Okay, just a minute, sister, whatever. Since you mentioned hell being chaos, and what is heaven? Is that just being in the...
Heaven is here. A pure heart, a clear mind. So when it's a rare occasion, when his mind is clear, it just happens. Things just flow on, and all of a sudden he's engaged, he thinks. It's like running into a wall. Why do you think my nose is flat? That's because I'm always thinking. So I'm kind of bumping into a wall. Because you know why? Because if you're thinking, I have to be cleaning, because that's telling me, so I'm cleaning with you as you're talking. That's why I come. Because you folks give me stuff to look at that I wouldn't ordinarily not look at.
But how are you cleaning right now? You're not doing the breathing.
No, we have 65, 80 tools we're going to show you.
Oh.
In fact, they got some on the table now. That's why my sister wants to take a break. Take a break, take a break. You sound like those guys from the mainland. Take a break. So we're going to take a break. And some of you go back there. Some of it, you'll be very selective. The memory will come up. I can guarantee you. I watch people. So one of the things you'll avoid is the sugar stuff. But kids don't avoid it. That's why some of the tools are so easy to do. M&Ms works on intellectualism. And people who have used it have told me, man, you cannot believe. And they tell me, I think it's, if I'm using it with the intent of letting go, it doesn't affect me. I don't put on weight. I have a guy who eats 2 or 3 pounds of it a week. In Tennessee, of all places. So there are the cleaning tools back there, and there'll be cards. You can look at it, what it does. So I'm going to take a break, please. I can hear a question on this side. I will tell you who's asking about it. I won't. So the question's on this side. So anybody on this side? One day, this scientist was talking, and at the end, they gave him an immense ovation. They were just incredible. They were just awed by him. So a question went up, and the person asked the guy, Nobel laureate, a biologist, asked the guy, can you tell us something about yourself? And his response was interesting, because he paused and he said, well, he said, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you about myself. Now here is a Nobel laureate. And he said, well, I'll begin. And then he went, his first statement was, my family began as a bacteria. So his family, he's looking at his family relatives, he began as a bacteria. And from that bacteria, this evolution of life. And people were just stunned by that, because maybe they thought he was going to talk about the fact he had an MD from Yale, but he didn't even talk about that. But his connection to all of life, the ocean, bacteria, and so he mentioned the fact that we're all connected, and when something happens in one area, it affects the whole thing. And that's one of the themes I want to get across to you. So if my friend is in somewhere, maybe doing something to do with the law or anything like that, everybody else will get affected. I'll tell you why. Let's say, see this thing right here, there's a strand coming out, see it? Right here. I'm just saying over here. Okay, you know how sometimes we go, oh, I can take that out, and when you take it out, what usually happens sometimes? The whole cloth goes, yeah. So please know, just by you doing whatever, you affect everything. You affect the weather, how the schools operate. It's just incredible. This is why when I was one day I was sitting with Morna, we went from Copenhagen. It took, I think, 2 nights. I can't remember, it's been so long. We went from Copenhagen, Denmark, down to Italy. And she never said anything, never talked. She was that kind of person. So I'm sitting there, and I usually bring my books along, because she doesn't say anything. But occasionally she would go, look at that. And then she would go, and you go, okay. Then you go another 10, maybe 150 kilometers, look at that. And then like that. And then go, I mean, the trips with her were interesting. And then one time as we were passing to, I think Berlin or I don't know where we were passing through, she said, listen to this now. This is the kind of statement you would hear at Hawaii State Hospital. She said to me, I just in the defense office of the German government. I went, oh, okay. And then I said, let it go. Cleaning tool. Some point 15 years down the line, I finally realized she was using her mind cleaning tool. Cleaning all the time, cleaning. How would that clean? How do I know? So all those tools back there had that purpose. To what? To free you up so that you will become pure in heart. Because only out of clarity will this inspiration come. Because you cannot serve 2 masters. The mind cannot operate serving two forces at once. It's either going to be moved by divine inspiration or stuck in history. And most of the time, this thing plays, I would say 99% of the time, and this one rarely shows up. So I'm here to say, okay, let's see if we can kind of cut that down, get it down, I don't know, maybe to 97%. There's a book called The User Illusion. One of the themes of this book is that what you see is not what really is. So can you imagine if you're a lawyer like him, or a psychologist, a past psychologist, or a social worker, and you're looking at somebody who comes in stating that they're having a problem, and you're not actually hearing what that person is saying? Do you have any children?
Yes.
So what about that with bringing up a kid?
I love it.
Yeah? So have you discovered who he is?
No.
She's a little pause on that one, yeah?
Yes, I think, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
And the only way that my friend or you or me will be able to see her is we have to see her out of nothingness. Otherwise, we're just always engaged, pushing them around. Because we think what we see is right and say, no, turn left. So, I'm going to see if I can play this song. My sister's got her fingers crossed over there. I wish she would sit in the back of the room, but she's putting it up here. You can sing with me. E Hawaii e ku'une anawe kuhone kula irine Oli no awina pono lani Hey Hawaii, aloha na opi o Hawaii holy holy Maina he ahe makani pamaine Mau ke aloha aloha Now, if you know anything about the term aloha, what the word aloha means is to be in the presence of God. So if I say aloha, that means I'm acknowledging that there's a divine being, and I shouldn't mess around with him. So the Ho'oponopono, what we're talking about is when you do a cleansing, you will see as a divine being, not somebody who's a pain in the butt. And so this song represents what Hawaii is, the breath and the water of love, acknowledging that everything is sacred. Now, most of the time, this is how we sound though. Telling people what to do, being pissed off all the time, being caught up in the system, and what we want to do is undo that. But you know, the structure hasn't changed. See, the ukulele hasn't changed. It's just the tone of it has changed. So the Ho'oponopono is not changing you. You're perfect already. See? Perfect. So what we're looking to do is just to take the stuff out of you so you can represent really love beyond all understanding. Yeah? So I can hear a question, so I'm going to ask you if there's anything so I know where to go. Anybody have a question? I can hear something in the room going, you know, us Hawaiians, we don't say much, yeah? We just get ticked off quietly. In the back of the room. Wait till they leave. Any question?
Well, what if we do a persistent problems that you clean with, you know,
Yeah.
not a lot of times?
Yeah. What you're doing is that, first of all, when you work with the divinity, you have to realize the divinity will know how to untangle that. So you can't say, you're going to clear, give you an example. I had done the training in England, and a lady had learned the peace of I. So she must have been wealthy because I got a call, you know. She called me, this is years ago. She said, it doesn't work. I said, what doesn't work? The peace of I doesn't work. I said, because when I do my cleaning, it doesn't work for me. So I said to her, well, I'm cleaning now. So I'm saying, well, tell me what you do. What do I see when I see you doing? She said, well, when I go to a shopping mall, I want to get close to the building. Maybe it's raining, so I clean to get close to the building. It's like saying, like treating God like a concierge. I want this, I want, you're not going to happen. But coming back to what you're talking about, is what you have to know is that this memory is connected to everything. Let me just go on. And the memory also twists, just like a DNA, and it branches. So now you see where chaos is? Like that, and it's all taking place, and this is all in your mind. So now, when you do the cleaning, the divinity looks, the divinity says, oh, this one can go, that one can go, that one can go, because it's right time at that moment. Then you got to come back and hit it again. But you're asking the divinity who knows all, knows what the perfect timing, and so the divinity has to undo it. Now, I'll give you an example. When you train people and they don't know what they're doing, they know the system, but they don't know how to apply it. So I'm going to ask you to give me your hand. So let's say I'm a massage therapist. So she tells me she's having pain there. So I work this, let's say I'm trained, work that area to release that. So I work that, you can make it worse. So you're working on the wrong thing. You know, you can learn a system, but if you don't know how to apply it, then for example, when people have sciatic, what do they work on? The sciatic. But most sciatics have to do with your heel. You work on the heel, and then that will go. It's kind of like the law sometimes. You have to know, good lawyers know where to go. New lawyers know what? They know the law, right? They've come out, but how it turned out that the law is more than just law. So same thing with your massage therapist. You learn how different techniques, but you don't quite learn how to apply them correctly. Because I remember having a case with a sciatic problem, severe, 5 years. I saw as I was cleaning, because when the divinity knows, it's like this great sage who says, it's not me, but the God in me that does this. So I'm trying to take note of that, not me. So if something comes up, a memory comes up, I erase it. I want to be clear. Blessed are the pure in heart, so that an inspiration come up. So I heard to tell her just to take her left heel and just to sit in the chair and just rock it back and forth. That's all. A couple days later, that thing went. Now, I'm not trained. I don't know what to do. That's the weird stuff will come up. Inspiration. You understand this? So we're here to let go of all this gyration, all this stuff that we hold on that we think we know, but we don't know anything. Well, all we have to do is to have it all work, is to come back home and be ourselves. And who are we? Freedom, pure in heart. So that's what the Ho'oponopono is all about. All right, let me get a little more technical here and give you the key. So I'm going to draw for you the key of the Ho'oponopono. This is how it all works. Okay, first of all, it works with the divinity, what the Hawaiians call ka'i, or omaka. Okay, this is where it all comes from. This is across religion, everybody at some point will come back and they're looking for some force, and the Hawaiians call it ka'i. So when this force called ka'i decided to create my friend, then gave the 3 cells. And this is the key. This is the keyhole, and this is the key, where like over at the hotel, all I have to do is put the thing in and the door opens. So I'm going to show you how you can put your key, which is identity, take your key and just key it in, turn it, then the mana flows, erases, gives you correct ideas. Okay. So now here, right here, the Hawaiians call this the aumakua. Some of you who want to eat, who've heard this, you know, please, you can go back to the room, yeah? Then it's also called the spirit. So when the traditional Hawaiians talk about aumakua, they're talking about the spirit. And this, what we call it when I was trained, is a superconscious. Okay? Now the superconscious is an interesting character. So there are two qualities about the superconscious. First of all, it's always itself. No memory ever plays, doesn't have any problem. It's always this way. This is the aumakua. Now, that means there's no block between the aumakua and the divine. It's just so this part of you is an open door to allow you to get home. So it doesn't provide any block but other than being itself. So that's the job of the aumakua. Just remain quiet so that the information can go back and forth. And then over here at the conscious level, this is called the uhani. What the Hawaiians call uhani. Well, this is called the mental part. This is the thinking part of your being, or the conscious mind. Can somebody define thinking for me? And you don't, there's no right or wrong, so I'm just going to tell you what how self-identity defines it. Anybody would like to tell me the definition of thinking?
Death. Death.
Death?
Death.
Okay.
Well, thinking, the intellect is asking questions.
Okay. Okay, we got to get more clear now. They're correct. What would be a definition of thinking?
Your thoughts.
Yeah, so what is a thought?
It's memory.
Yes. So thinking is defined as memory replaying. So now the thinking is stuck because something pops up, a memory pops up, and it's stuck. It hooks in there. So I want you to be clear now. Thinking is memory replaying. And all of us get stuck in that. You put it down someplace. My sister's got it written across her forehead, so she doesn't have to do it, see? But it's replayed memory. And what is a problem defined as? Memory replaying. And it is this memory, once it plays, that's what you see, but you don't see it correctly. You're not seeing it with a pure eye. Now you're stuck. So thinking is a memory replaying, and thinking is a problem. Now, should you stop thinking? Lots a lot. Can you work on being less thinking? Yes. But you can't give it up. You're always going to be stuck with it. Okay, so that's the conscious mind. Now, what is the role of the conscious mind? Very simple. Think or not. That's the job of the conscious mind. Conscious mind has two options. When a problem comes up, it can clean and disengage, or it can get stuck in it and have more stuff. How come? Why? I did my clean, didn't have. Well, no, that's thinking, and it's memory. This is called memory. Now, when you do the cleaning, you're asking the divinity to erase that so the thinking will go, and then you're back to being yourself and you're free again. That's why Martin Luther King says, "I'm free at last." So that's the thinking. So the conscious mind, that's how simple it is now. That's the beauty of this. This is why I love it so much. The conscious mind can make a choice. So this is where the choice is made. The choice is made, am I going to let it replay, or am I going to let go and let God? That's the only thing the conscious mind, but the conscious mind is so ferocious. Just ferocious. That's why we have wars in Iraq. We have black and white, we have racial, it just goes on and on and on. That's the ferocity of the thinking mind. But now I'm saying to you, you have a choice. You can do this Ho'oponopono, which is basic to all religions. Except you don't need a priest, you don't need a kahuna, you don't need a psychologist, you don't need any of those folks, because you're going to work directly with the source. And so the choice of the cleaning, which is I'm sorry, that's why you eat the food back there, because now as soon as you begin to eat or drink the water, this process says to the divine, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Okay, that's the job over here, to start the cleaning. That's the choice. Okay? And then over here is what the Hawaiians call unihipili. Unihipili, which means literally grasshopper. This is why when you take little kids into a store, it's got a lot of fine glass in it. Oh, touch it. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. That's the unihipili. Like that, because they can't help it. That's why when little children, I was trained, which is, sorry, bullshit. That's not who they are. If you ever watch, you can see children who are well behaved, loving, caring. So here, talk about the unipili, which is the subconscious now. Okay, now talk about the subconscious. The subconscious is a storehouse. What does it store? Memories. The subconscious is a stage. What Shakespeare called the world is a stage, but the subconscious is a stage in which memory is the performer. So when memory clicks, it says hello, or goodbye, or screw you, or something like that. But all of this is taking place in the subconscious, not out there. So so let's say somebody says something, here's the mouth. Somebody says, oh, you know? It's a memory replaying that expresses itself in physically. But if you begin to erase that, that can't say anything, replace it by love, then this person can only say, I love you. That's the simplicity of it all. But here's where the problem is in your subconscious. It's a memory, and the memory is experienced inside of you, not outside. This is why when you look at something with your eye, it's always coming from the subconscious. So now we want to erase all of this. We want to say to the divinity, we're willing to let go occasionally, sometimes, at the beginning. And so now you begin to you do I love you. It's a cleaning tool. Please forgive me. You do the breathing, you drink your water, and you allow the divinity to begin this process of erasing from your subconscious. You're back to zero. Subconscious goes, oh, now it's silent, and then the divinity will imbue it with love, which is inspiration. That's what the word inspire. That's what that means. This is the breath. This is the ha, which is a mana, not oxygen. So the child gets filled with the breath of the divine, and it experiences love and peace. So let me pause a little while. My sister's not asking for a break, but so
I'm amazed.
she's amazed, eh? Even from Kalihi. Okay. So now when my friend goes to court, he's going to go to court, and he's going to go to court in only two ways. So I'm going to show you two versions. I'm just showing you two versions. Okay. Now, let's say a memory kicks in. He's got a client. He's kind of, but the memory. So now the subconscious rules it. All this emotion. This is what you see in people who are always angry. So now the thinking mind gets squeezed, and you can't reason anymore with anybody. Have you ever had that experience? Didn't know it was you though, yeah? Okay. So now the other example is when the thinking mind thinks. The thinking mind pushes down whatever inspiration or intuition that if he got that inspiration, this is called intuition. Let's call this intuition. It's different from inspiration. I can come back if you have any question. But this is him. This is how he is, because that's the way the rest of us. This is him. Now the other way he could be is empty. No memory, no nothing. So when he goes, the right thing happens. You know what I mean? It's kind of, have you ever had that experience? Sometimes it just happens. Why do you suppose that happens?
It's unexplainable.
Yeah, see? That's wonderful. That's the best explanation. You can't explain it. But now I'm saying to him, he can work it now. He doesn't have to he can actually begin this cleaning, and he'll get more of those unexplainable stuff. I had a friend in Honolulu who said, boy, every time I get this judge, no matter how well I'm prepared, there's something about the judge. So as he's talking to me, I'm doing my cleaning. And then he said, you know, that guy was a nice guy after all. Unexplainable. Yeah. Have you ever had unexplainable moments?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, what is the problem? Memory replaying. Where's the problem located? In your subconscious. What is your choice? To have it rule it or have it erased? So anything? So I'm going to show, any question before we show this whole blob of cleaning tool? Yeah.
Where does the ego fit into?
I'm sorry?
Where does the ego fit in
It's a made-up word.
that we created?
Yeah. That's the unclarity of it all. But if we're going to look closely, as close as possible to what I'm talking about, the ego would be represented by the conscious mind. But it's a makeup. Because I tell you, that knowing ego doesn't solve any problems. I've been trained as a psychologist, doing this stuff since 1964, so it doesn't work.
It would be good to get rid of it.
What?
It'd be good to get rid of it.
That's why, and how would you define ego? Memory plane. Yes.
Intuition versus inspiration.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So here's what happens. One day I'm driving along, going back. I used to live in Mililani years ago. So I'm living in Mililani, and then I'm maybe about a mile from the turnoff to go up to Mililani. I hear this little voice said, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." I didn't know how to do this cleaning, by the way, by then. This was in 1970 something, when I got back from Iowa to work. I wouldn't do that if I were you, and I could hear it cloud in my mind. I'm having a dialogue. We always do that. No, I wouldn't do that. We always do that. Getting closer and closer. Here's the turnoff. I'm explaining intuition. So here's the turnoff to go to Mililani. I'm coming down the highway. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I did it anyway because that's what I always did. I went down there, and right over here there was an accident, and I got stuck there for 4 hours. And this little boy said, "I told you so." That's intuition. It's happened before, and it's telling you, "Hello, it's going to happen again." But now I know how to erase those things. You know, I've had people tell me that on certain airplanes, if they had gotten on that airplane, they'd be dead. Dead. They could hear it. Don't go on that airplane. Anybody from Boston? Do you remember the story? Yeah. Anyway, all our friends. I have a couple of friends who own a physical fitness place on one of the wealthiest streets in Boston, right? Boston. Anyway, and they have very wealthy clients. I mean, wealthy. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And so after they learned to do this cleaning, they were like maybe 15 of their clients who at certain time of the week would use the same airline, the same flight to go to New York. None of them went. None of them went. And no, so he would tell you, somebody got their log lost or the car broke down or something, but none of them went. 15 of them. One of the wealthiest people in America. Just doing this cleaning.
That was on 9/11, right?
Yeah, 9/11. I would like to take another break because I can see somebody's child going out the door. Yeah. Can we take another break?